My son was falsely accused, and I reported him to the authorities. I helped ruin his life, and I want him back. My son has been in college since last fall. Last November, my 16-year-old stepdaughter brought up allegations that my son had abused her repeatedly for several years. I confronted my son, and he categorically denied it. But I knew that even though he was my son, I could not defend him for such an awful act. My wife and I reported him to the authorities. My son was arrested in December and held in prison for several weeks because I refused to provide him bail money. He was eventually expelled from his Ivy League college. In the middle of January, my stepdaughter broke down and admitted she lied about everything. She had actually been having sex with her boyfriend and was scared the news would reach us. The charges were dismissed and my son was released immediately, but the damage was done. His first girlfriend from college ended things with him. The news spread about the allegations, and all his childhood friends have decided to just stay away from him, even though I called each and every one of them personally. I have called the school and explained the situation, and even though they sympathized, they said he needed to reapply for the next school year and go through the admissions process again. My son is understandably furious at us. He has moved back home and refuses to talk to me at all. Both my wife and I have apologized to him repeatedly. We have banned my stepdaughter from our home permanently, and she has been sent to live with her father in another state. My wife and I also agreed to completely disinherit her from our wills. It has been a very painful situation. All of us started therapy. The realization of how badly I ruined my son's life hit me when I picked up his first prescription of antidepressants today. I bawled my eyes out in my car. He is the pride and joy of my life. He is outgoing, funny, intelligent, and the kindest person I know. But when I handed him his medication, I could not even recognize him. He locks himself in his room, does not eat properly, and has lost several pounds so far. Whenever I try talking to him, I just see the hate he has for me in his eyes. I don't know if I can ever get him to love me again. I know he is on Reddit very often. T, if you are reading, I want to tell you again how sorry your stepmom and I are. I promise I will get you into college again. I know I can't get you back the year you lost, but I will do everything in my power to make this right. Everything I have has always been for you. I hope you will give me a chance to fix this. I love you so much it hurts. I failed as a father, and I hope one day you will forgive me. Sons, POV. This is an extremely touchy experience regarding my father who believed his stepdaughter over me, his own bio son. My dad in his Reddit post named me T, but I want to explain my side of the story that my dad didn't include before he deleted his account due to the backlash. I didn't want to talk about this with anyone after being extremely depressed over losing my first girlfriend, friends, and my spot in the Ivy League college over because of my stepsister's false sexual assault allegations. I lost everything. Because of her, my dad and stepmom didn't even give me the benefit of a doubt. I expected my dad to back me up because I was telling the truth and looked at him directly to prove my innocence. But he didn't believe me and got me arrested, and I couldn't make bail. I was so angry at my father for not believing. I don't care about the apologies he and my stepmom said to me because it won't undo all the damage they have done to me. I couldn't move forward with this. I had to get antidepressants because I couldn't take it anymore. The only one who was there for me was my childhood friend Ruka, not her real name, who, unlike all the others, decided to give me another chance. She has been there for me throughout all these years after no one believed me. Ruka is from a Japanese family. Me and her got married 5 years ago, and her family is very sweet. Ruka and I hung out a lot after she supported me throughout all this mess my stepsister caused. I know my stepsister got slapped in the face after she told the truth about what happened. She was sent to another state to be with her father, and I don't care what happens to her after. I know my dad threatened her boyfriend to the point that he broke up with my stepsister afterwards. I'm glad he did. Who could be with someone who caused a lot of damage to her stepbrother who protected her throughout his life? Ruka told me one day that she was moving back to Japan, and I was sad that she was going to leave, and I was going to be alone again, but she told me to come with her. I had accepted her offer without any hesitation because I couldn't look at my father again after he didn't believe me. Every time my dad and stepmom apologized for not believing me, it just made me angrier. I had packed a suitcase and was heading out the door, but my dad told me where I was going and I told him that it's none of his business. Then I left. I stupidly forgot my phone back at home when Ruka texted me if I was ready. When I showed up at Ruka's home, she and her whole family were waiting for me, but before I could get in the vehicle with them, my dad showed up in his car. Ruka's family didn't want my dad anywhere near me, but I could see the tears in his eyes as he tried to stop me from leaving. I then saw that he had my phone, and I told him, what the hell does he want? My dad tried to speak, but couldn't. I took my phone back from him. He started apologizing profusely of how much of a failure of a father he was for not believing me when my stepsister accused me of sexual assault, when in reality she was having sex with her boyfriend. I straight up told my dad he failed. I couldn't hold back the tears and cried as well. I told him what he did was unforgivable and that I found his Reddit post and told him that the way he was trying to self-victimize himself for sympathy was a cowardly move. I told him why did he not believe me? I thought he had my back. My dad couldn't usher the word to give a response. I berated him and called him every name in the book. I told him that everyone hated me because of my stepsister's lies, and I still had a broken heart after my first girlfriend left me because of stepsister's false accusations. Everyone I know and used to be friends with called me a monster. I told him that I'm going to move with Ruka's family, because I couldn't stand him anymore with his empty apologies that meant nothing to me. It just made angrier. I told him nothing would change my mind after my image and reputation among people I knew was destroyed because of my stepsister. He begged me tearfully not to go and even dropped to his knees while crying. Ruka quietly told me that I should forgive him. I told her I didn't want to, because everything I did before all of this went down was for my dad's sake to be proud of me. I did everything for my father and did my best to impress him after working hard to get into the Ivy League college. I told my dad I didn't see him as my father anymore, and that he should find someone else, because my father died when he didn't believe me when I was telling him the truth the entire time. I got in the vehicle with Ruka's family and left as I turned around one last time to see my dad on the ground in a curled-up position, crying his eyes out as some neighbors checked up on him. I was scared when I arrived in Japan. I didn't know any of Japan's culture, but I'm slowly learning. Ruka and I started dating after 2 months of moving to Japan, and I've met some friendly people while I'm here. It's been several years from what happened, and Ruka and I have been happily married, but we agreed to not have any children. All I can say is that applying for citizenship is extremely difficult than I thought. Last I heard from my dad is that he ended it after several weeks since the last time I saw. I don't know why he called me T in his original post, but now I know why. But I still have never forgiven him. I had no one when the false sexual allegations happened, and I thought my dad at least had my back. Before I most likely decide to leave this account, I want to say that Ruka's family have always seen me as a son, because Ruka was an only child. But another fact is that one of Ruka's family members was falsely accused of sexual allegations that costed him his house, job, image, reputation, and friends. He was later proven innocent, but the damage was done. Ruka's family wasn't aware of the false sexual allegations until I told them. Ruka didn't tell them, because she still had hoped that the sexual allegations were not true. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened after Dad deleted his Reddit account after posting his story. But I will say now is that I'm living a happy life in Japan with Ruka. Thanks for listening to my side of the story. Edit. First, I wanted to clarify a few things. Those people who think this is fake, well, it's not. Secondly, I'm going to make another post regarding details that happened through my perspective that I forgot to include in this post. I didn't include everything that happened to me when I was still living with my father, because it hurts to relive the moment when your parent, who is supposed to love you unconditionally, didn't give you the benefit of a doubt on a life-changing accusation. Thirdly, I don't know where the hell people got the idea that I ended myself. But I can't blame you all because you weren't given a proper update about what happened afterwards. Thank you for most of the kind words you guys have given me, and I wish I could have made my post sooner rather than now to stop the spread of misinformation regarding the people that thought I was dead.